We have something that got rescheduled that was going to happen about 10 days ago, and unfortunately we had about 27 inches of ice everywhere, or at least it felt like it. That's the kind of, thank goodness that heavier rains came and kind of melted a little bit off, but that still was pretty tricky for some people to get around. Lines were down, tree limbs were down, and it was a little scary for a while. Some people were without electricity, but anyway, the Strebe Strong Lantern Festival that was scheduled for the 14th rescheduled for Saturday.
Yes, January 28th.
Are you seriously scared? Yes. You gonna wear your pants? Don't do that.
We were originally from Baltimore, Maryland, and we had an incident where one of our older children was involved in a car accident, and shortly thereafter we realized that, you know, life doesn't always give you a second chance, so we looked in the Midwest and found Missouri and came out for a couple visits, and Salem was the only place that we came back to twice. Things were just kind of flowing along. We had normal daily routines, and you know, the kids did different activities, and my son was in drama club and gymnastics and art club, and Kirsten played softball and ran track. We were pretty much like any other normal family until October 25th happened, and that completely changed everything. They stopped by my office just to say hi and to tell me that they were going to drop their friends off. Kirsten was driving, and that then they were going to go home.
Kirsten, Elias, and one of their schoolmates pulled into the driveway next door to me, and they dropped off their friend there. Kirsten actually stopped the truck when they were in line with me, rolled down the passenger window, and they always have these goofy mannerisms, and just gave me their smiles, and I waved to them, told them I loved them, and they made a right-hand turn out of P Highway. That's when the phone rang, and it was him on the phone. He was screaming, "It's Kirsten, it's Kirsten." Everybody was already on scene. They're still trying to get him out of the vehicle.
And realizing that it's not just one of your children, but two who you had just seen less than an hour ago, and not really knowing at that moment, you know, what was going on, how bad was it.
We got to touch her, tell her that we loved her, you know, to be strong. They loaded her up.
And I asked them to please take them, one, both to the same place, and two, to take them to Children's. They called us on the way and said, come in, you know, through the parking garage to the second level, somebody will be waiting for you. And that's what they did. And what they had done is our son was in CAT scan and said, you know, we can take you to see him just for a brief moment, that they were still working on our daughter.
The situation was unique. The family had been through the experience of trauma and how that can impact everyone. And now they had not one, but two siblings who were involved in this terrible motor vehicle accident, and both of them had life-threatening injuries. Think of the worst day of anybody's life and then multiply that by two, and that's what they were dealing with.
November 11th came around. That's the anniversary of our son Ryan's death. He died 11/11/2003 in a car accident when he was 19. November 11th, we're still sitting in the hospital. I'm still looking at my kids, both of them in comas, thinking, we can't do this again. We can't do it. But such a helpless feeling, other than the fact everybody around you is working so hard, and you can see that, was the comforting thing. Because I couldn't do it, but I could watch everybody there, and they were doing everything they could and the best they could.
Word got out, people learned the story, and it's everyone's worst nightmare when they find it, to think about getting the call that something happened to your kids. But this is a small town, and people know the Strebes and know that they had already been through this once with another child. So the community just wanted to gather around them and support them and let them lean on them as much as they could.
Without the support from the community, I don't know how we'd get through this. This is our home, and I think people have gone above and beyond what they had to, and what they normally might do for Kirsten and Elias.
A friend of ours from Baltimore County Police, they had put together one of our family portraits, put the blue line over top of it signifying law enforcement. And they put the wording Strebe Strong over top of it. And that Strebe Strong, everybody shared that picture, and it just went off from there. Miss Mary, wonderful lady, hugs everybody, and she just has that presence. She's your mom. And she called me, she's like, Dad, he just opened his eyes. Elias just opened his eyes. She would say, Elias, honey, and his eyes would just open right up, and he'd look around trying to find where her voice was coming from. They created a bond from that point.
Good job. She's okay.
If one of them has to wake up before the other, we hope it's Elias, because they both love each other so much that we know that Kirsten would carry so much guilt looking over at her brother still laying there that it would hamper her recovery because of her love for him. And Elias did.
Up now, number 8. Kirsten Strebe.
Two of her softball friends were sitting on her bed. They said to her, hey Kirsten, can you still hit dingers? And Kirsten always does this particular pose in photographs. And with her eyes closed laying there, Kirsten just went like that. And everybody's like, no way, no way.
You gonna try some mashed potatoes today?
And Thanksgiving morning, she's laying in bed with her eyes open, and Julie's sitting there next to her. And she says, I have to go to the bathroom. Of course, the celebration went on the whole time. She still has to go to the bathroom.
We want to begin waking them up and getting them oriented again. And so that was right around Thanksgiving.
He had more difficulty remembering or talking. So I would use music to help him with his cognition, but also his memory recall.
It was fun seeing him progress so quickly through high-level skills to the point where he was jumping rope. He progressed very nicely. Kirsten, you just couldn't push her hard enough. Working with Christy, our music therapist, on some marching activities.
Bad decisions, that's alright. Welcome to my silly life.
Did you have fun at PT?
Yeah.
I'm glad. Love you.
Love you too.
The chemistry between the two, you can tell how much they really love each other as siblings, and they do really honestly, genuinely care about each other.
Stop it. And you can listen to her heart. Don't make me in the face with that.
They both skipped grades. Kirsten is on track to be valedictorian. She has scholarships already, so it's our fervent hope that all those dreams are realized. We expect great things for both of those children.
They're not alone, they're not by themselves. They have this whole team working with them, helping them each step of the way.
They're gonna live. We still have our kids. I didn't have to bury another child. And that's something that none of us want to do. It's not the natural progression of life. You're not supposed to bury a kid, and it happens far too often. But in this case, everybody up there, from the first responders on the scene to every doctor and every person at that hospital, I didn't have to. I brought my kids home. I brought them home.
When Kirsten and Elias had their accident in October, they were almost positive that Kirsten was not going to survive. I really want to extend a thank you to the Highway Patrol and to the Denton County Sheriff's Office and to the Denton County Fire Department and Salem Memorial District Hospital for putting into motion the ability for Children's Hospital to save our kids. And that's what they did.
She's like my second mom.
It's definitely a surreal experience, like to come back where there was so much struggle, so much heartache, you know, along with so many successes and everything. It just takes your breath away, like stepping into it and being like, so much happened here and everything, and so many people. I don't remember their names because of the amnesia, but I know their faces because I've seen them so much and everything. So it's nice to see everyone, like when we visited the PICU while we were still in the hospital, it's nice to see the people who saved your life.